Forget Barcola. Liverpool could move for another PSG star instead. Liverpool transfer news. Ilya Chavarny could become a serious PSG opportunity. Liverpool summer planning continued to generate attention around elite attacking names, but the more intriguing conversation may yet develop a centre-back. For Barcola has attracted plenty of headlines. However, the question around Paris Saint-Germain may not entail. Ilya Chavarny is another name worth watching, particularly given Liverpool's current defensive balance and the relationship already in place behind the scene. Creative debuting on Redman TV, whose led assessment pointed toward a deal that may not be achieved right now, but carries enough logic to warrant close attention as the market develops. Liverpool takes a stand around Ilya Chavarny. There is no suggestion that Liverpool are advancing aggressively at this stage, yet the profile makes sense. Chavarny now is key decision-maker, with Richard Hughes having first-hand knowledge from Bournemouth, while Andrea Ferfio's work with the defender naturally strengthened the connection. When clubs assess possible deal, familiarity matters. Liverpool have often moved most especially when recruitment staff and coaching structure share a clear understanding of player level, versatility, and tactical stability. That is why this possibly feel credible, as well as find it. I think is one of those that you call sea legs in. Richard Hughes will know him from his time of Bournemouth, and will know everything about the player. Of course, the manager will like him as well. In market terms, that is an important starting point. Liverpool do not usually trip into expensive acquisition without the conviction from several departments. The weather point is also relevant if PSG reaches the conclusion that Chavarny is not central to their plans. The condition could become favorable. Liverpool have perpetually shown a willingness to strike when high-level challenge becomes available at more attractive fee than expected. That angle was captured substantially if PSG are in a situation where they think, okay, this action could work out. We are willing to do a cut price deal that she sort of think Liverpool tend to be all over. You think about them taking Ryan Gabriel for a cut price fee from Bayern. PSG defender fit a clear squad recruitment. Even after moving in and out of the position, centre-back remain in area that deserve scrutiny. Liverpool have Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Jeremy Jagger, and Kevin Leone as senior option, but their number alone does not tell the full story. Leone is still recovering from a serious ACL injury. Jagger is highly regarded but improper and from a legal level. Gomez's ability can never be ensured over a full confine, and Van Dijk, while still operating at an elite standard, is justified. It is in that context that the assessment becomes more persuasive. I think Liverpool are a bit sore at centre half. You are putting an awful lot in Jagger and Leone, and of course Van Dijk, who now a year older, to go in with the option that you are surely got. That feel like a fair reading of the squad. Liverpool may have number on favor, but tap durability and certainly and separate question. Chavarny will always spell of just concern at once. He is 23, physically strong, accustomed to the Premier League treatment from his Bournemouth spell, and experienced enough to arrive without accruing a long adaptation period. He will not need to be carried through development stage in the way younger options might. Transfer value makes sense for Liverpool. Any realistic move will still depend on price. HTBC has played Chavarny in the €40 million to €45 million range, which convert to roughly £34.1 million to £38.4 million for a player of his age, with top-level European exposure and proven experience in English football, that sit in a range Liverpool could justify in they choose the opportunity to be strategic rather than opportunistic. Unfortunately, this does not look like a deal that will move eventually. PSG understand will shape the face of any development, and Liverpool are lucky to force the issue early if there is no opening. The chain of question comes through Curry. Germany is someone who I can get being on the radar, but again it's still early in the window and it may take PSG to say there's not really a role for him there to get that one moving. It may take a couple of weeks to get going, that's one, but I wouldn't sit here and rule that one out. I think that one to keep an eye on. Why Liverpool should monitor this deal casually? For now, this belongs in the category of a shovel rather than flashing, yet those are often the deals that become significant later in the window. Liverpool recruitment model has long favored patience, timing and ability to act when market conditions shift. If PSG soften their position and Liverpool decide an additional centre-back in regular before the season began, Germany looked like a name with genuine substance behind it. In a summer where the focus may naturally drift forward more glamour target, the short offensive move that could prove every bit as important. Liverpool do not need to buy for the sake of it, but they do need to protect a key area of the squad. Germany, on the evident available offer to fit the very naturally. Our view. From Liverpool supporter perspective, this is actually the kind of report that feels worth paying attention to. It may not have the noise of a superstar winger story, but centre-back is a position where the club simply cannot afford to be casual. There is courage there, of course, but there is also uncertainty. Fatigue remains immense. Gomez can be excellent when fit, and there is unstable excitement around younger options. Yet asking everything to fall perfectly into place over the long season feels optimistic. Germany will make sense because he looks like a player who could come in and genuinely compete straight away. He knows the league, he knows the team of English football, and the coaching connection with Urla keep the idea extra credibility. That matter especially in summer when he had coached will form player capable of adapting quickly to what he wants. The biggest attraction is probably the age profile at 23. This is not a short-term fetch-off, it should be a move aimed to put the freshen at the next few years. If Liverpool can secure that kind of defender of around 35 million pounds to 38 million pounds, it feels like smart business rather than a gamble. Supporters will rank the one major swinging in attack, but strengthening the spine of team can be just as desired. If this opportunity opens up, it is one the club should take very seriously.